Hey everyone, welcome back to week 4 of this month's series, Taking Care of the Women in Your Life. You ready, Robin?
Let's do it.
Okay. Hey everyone, I'm Sharon Gelfand, a functional holistic nutritionist working with women over 40 get to the root of their most common health complaints with at-home testing and flexible food choices so they have more energy, less stress, and feel great again. And I'm here with my co-host, Robin.
Thanks, Sharon. I'm Robin Joy Myers, a molecular geneticist, TEDx speaker, and author, and I help women over 50 fall in love with themselves so that they can thrive throughout life's changes with joy, confidence, and trust.
You know, I just had this thought when you said fall in love with ourselves, and our topic this month of taking care of the women in our lives. What about loving ourselves and taking care of ourselves and the women? But it's about, hey, you want to fall in love with yourself. I just made that connection. And I think that's actually very cool to bring into this last episode because we're still in that disconnected mode. So we have to learn how to bring it all
Nice
together.
connection.
How about that? So that could be like one of the action steps, right, this week for our audience, for ourselves, falling in love with yourself.
That should be an action step. Actually, let's make that the number one action step.
So how do you do that?
Well, our number one relationship really is with ourselves. Actually, your number one lasting relationship is with yourself. So what are your likes and what are your dislikes? It's all built around you. So many people can't answer, do you love yourself? Do you love yourself, Sharon?
I love myself. But I do now, but only because I've become so aware of it through the work that I do, as you know, you have also. You love yourself, right?
I do, but you know something? I love myself. I couldn't answer that years ago. I honestly couldn't. I didn't know really, because I put myself last and I served and pleased and all of that sort of thing. I really couldn't answer that question. Do I love myself? I couldn't really answer what I even like about myself and who I was. So it really is part of that journey as to trying different things and challenging myself to try different things.
And when you start to pay attention to that and realize I need to take some action to do that, then the whole idea and concept of the Women in Our Lives and Breast Cancer Awareness Month really just shows the importance of tuning in and connecting because you're with yourself the longest. You are your biggest asset and you need to take those action steps. You need to love yourself and figure out what that means, so that you can become aware, so that you can do the breast exams and really honor what your body needs.
I agree with you. And I think that's when you can really tune in and really understand like what's right, what's not right, what feels right, because you are so tuned in. You're really understanding what's working, what's not working, and trusting yourself. And in loving yourself comes the trust, right?
Yeah.
Because it's a challenge because it's, as we both know in our own journeys, very often we step out of that a little bit, at least for myself, stepping out of that, that's where that, are we being selfish? Are we putting ourselves first as a selfish thing to do? Because what about everyone else? And that's switching the conversation to say, but wait a second, when I take care of myself and I'm my best self, then I show up better for everything else around me.
Yeah. And I think one of the ways to do that in terms of the action step is to plan it, right? Just like you plan everything else. If you're planning your meetings and you're planning kid schedules and you're planning food and what you're eating, plan that time to tune in, to do a body scan, to check in with yourself. So even, let's say for the women who are experiencing and having their periods monthly, how is that feeling for them? Has anything changed? When you have all the breast tenderness, like where is it happening? And not being afraid to really learn how to do these the self-exams and to start tracking and not be afraid to ask the doctor, these questions, even if they feel foolish, because I think that's the biggest thing and what keeps women back from, asking these questions. They don't want to feel like they're stupid.
I agree with you. Yeah, and I think especially, well, a lot of doctor's appointments now are obviously like by telemed or whatever, but even if you're telemed or even if it is in person, you can make them stay with you for another 2 minutes. Like ask every question and go in with a list. If you have a list,
Yeah.
like make the list. Just get into the habit of being prepared, right, for yourself. And that means even when you're doing a body scan, like schedule your time just as if it was the most important meeting of the day.
I love that. It is as important as that important meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the way to do it. And I think that is like really that big action step, because you don't want to give too many things for people, because then it gets overwhelming. So really it's, if you can just take that time and tune in, write it down, look for the patterns, see what's changed, what's not, ask questions if you're not sure so that you can go deeper. That's part of getting to the root. Then knowing, okay, at least I have something to move forward with. And then whether the answer is yes, you have, or no, you don't, is dealing with it when it happens and moving forward from there, just one step at a time. I think we start worrying too much about an unknown future when we just need to stay present.
I love that. Baby steps, right?
Yeah.
We know what we want for the future, but we can't, as you say, you can't just jump and get there. You've got to back it up a little bit and take the steps to get there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the other thing in terms of action steps is, as we've spoken in the prior weeks, is looking at not just the foods that you're eating, but what are the cleaning products? So that's another action step. Like, what products am I using? What chemicals are in there? What am I putting on my skin? Because my skin's my largest organ. Am I
Mm-hmm.
staying away from things that have aluminum in it? Am I staying away from any type of a chemical that's a hormone disruptor? And looking for all natural so that we can do the best job that we can and not beat ourselves up if we have a closet filled with stuff and feeling like, oh my God, I'm the worst person. But breathing and saying, you know what? Let me start here, wherever here is, whether it's skincare, physical, cleaning products, laundry detergents. Start with something and then just keep building on it.
Exactly. I love that. Don't feel overwhelmed. Just if it's one thing, you can do one thing, then start with the one thing. If you're that ambitious and you can do more than one thing, like just break it down so it's manageable, right?
Yeah.
That you're not overwhelmed in making the changes.
Absolutely. Journal it, keep track of it, and you've got this. We all have this. It's simple to be proactive and replacing that fear with possibility.
Yeah, I love that. It is possible. And
It
that
is.
fear tells you something, right? That fear is telling you something. So listen to it.
I think that's a perfect place to end this series.
So as we wrap up, remember to take care of the women in your lives and join us next month because we have a very special show planned.
Oh, I can't wait. That's going to be a lot of fun. Always fun unpacking lunch and life with you, Robin. Have a
I
great day,
love it, Sharon.
everyone.